All right. How's it going, everybody? My name is Smoky Dragon, and today we're going to be reviewing the patch note. Today is August 19th, 2020. So this is balance patch 51.2. There are already a ton of hero changes. So this is quite interesting. This is supposed to have a Diva rework in it, but I don't see her in it. I guess that makes sense because this isn't the full patch. I guess the next major patch will have Diva. Let's just take some quick guesses on what's going to happen here. I can see Anub'arak getting some buffs. Arthas getting some buffs. Blaze is weird. He's very strong in the top level, but very weak in like middle tier, like plat and under. So I'm gonna say this is like a buff and a nerf. E.T.C is gonna probably get a buff and a nerf. Mei is going to get probably just her weaker talents buff. I don't think she needs a buff nor a nerf. I think Mei is actually in a pretty good place. Muradin definitely needs a hard buff. I don't play Chen. I'm gonna say it's gonna be a buff, but he's also really annoying to deal with. I don't think he needs a change. It's probably gonna be really minor. Deathwing, probably a buff. As far as healers go, Deckard's gonna get a nerf. I hope Tyrande gets a hard buff. Uther, probably a big buff as well. Illidan's kind of a weird change because if you buff Illidan, he becomes too overpowered. So they have to be very careful with what they change. It could be changes to his weaker talents. Qhira, probably a buff. Zeratul is gonna get a buff as well. I think most of these are gonna be buffs. Cassia, hard nerf, I hope. Chromie, a buff and a nerf, nothing too big. Junkrat and Zul'jin, both are probably gonna be buffs. I think the majority of the changes here are gonna be buffs. So let's start with the Anub'arak. Level 13, Burning Rage has been removed. New talent, Burning Beetles. Deal 21 damage every second to nearby enemy. Beetles deal 7 damage to nearby enemies. So this is like just a straight buff. Burning Rage 23. This is 21, so it's slightly weaker, but not by much. So this is just a better Burning Rage talent. The fact that they have a more Beetle focus is very interesting. I feel like Beetle is a very passive build, and I don't want it to be too strong. Arthas, Howling Blast, range has been increased. That's a pretty big increase as well. Level 1, Frost Presence. Bonus damage to Howling Blast reduced from 30 to 20%. Okay, so it has a bigger range, but is less threatening if you go full W build. That's good. Level 20, Death's Advance is now an E talent. New functionality, increased movement speed by 10%. Frozen Tempest, maximum slow, and attack speed has been increased from 40 to 60%. That is an interesting change. Death's Advance currently states activate to increase movement speed by 30% for 5 seconds and passively increases by 10. So this is just a passive 10. It's no longer an active 30, and it increases the maximum slow and attack speed slow by 20%. That's pretty big. Doesn't really help his main issues. Like Arthas just doesn't work as a solo laner or a main tank, so he gets kind of put into like a weird position. It's a good change, but I don't think it's what Arthas needs to become actually fully viable. Blaze, Endurance Stim Pack, shield amount increased from 480 to 530. Level 4, Incinerate Gauntlets, bonus damage to minions, mercenaries, and monsters reduced from 70% to 50. This is definitely needed, and I'm surprised that they're continuing to buff the other level 1. So I do think that this is good. E.T.C. Wow, he has a lot of changes. Level 1, Guitar Hero. Duration bonus increased from 0.25 to 0.5 seconds. Healing reduced from 60% to 50% dealt. Crowd Surfer. Additional functionality. If Power Slide hits no enemies, then reduces cooldown by 5 seconds and refund its mana cost. So it can still go through walls. This actually is pretty good. Whether or not someone dodges or you use it to escape gives you quite a bit of viability. I like this change. This is actually a really good change for it. Level 7, Hammer On. Passive. New functionality. While Guitar Solo is active, basic attacks deal 30% bonus damage. Encore used to be base melt leaves an amp behind, which will knock him his ways 2 seconds later. And now it reduces E.T.C's hero cooldown by 8%. Wow. Wait, you can have your cooldown reduced by 80%? It could be a full cooldown reset? This is crazy. Enemy heroes knocked back by face melt and the amp reduces hero. So I'm assuming it's per enemy hero hit. And it hits twice. If you hit 5 people, that's 40% per hit. So you could technically have an 80% reset, if not more if you have like a Samuro. That's what I'm saying. This is kind of crazy if it's per hit. If you hit a hero, reduces it by 8%, fine. But if it's every hero hit reduces it by 8%, that's insane. So Hotz's wording is very weird all the time. Like, they've messed up several different times. Anyways, we'll move on. Level 20, Crowd Pleaser. No longer reduces the cooldown of Stage Dive. Additional functionality. Increase the slow amount of Stage Dive by 30%. This makes it 70? And slow them by 50%. So this makes it a 70% slow. Huh. But the cooldown is no longer reduced. This is a good buff and a nerf. A 70% slow is pretty insane. That's like a Rhaegar totem, right? Wait, it is 80. It's not 70, it's 80%. I'm actually stupid. Bad math. Anyways, we're moving on. Overall, I think E.T.C's changes, they're very impactful to the character, but E.T.C has been top tier for a while. I don't think he needs to be buffed right after his nerf. I'm glad they're looking at changing him though. I think overall this is really good changes. Mei, level 4. Crystallized Trait. Armor amount reduced from 50 to 40. So this was the most popular talent. Definitely needs some sort of nerf. I'm glad that they're changing it. Cold Front. Cooldown reduction increased from 7 to 8 seconds. Mana return increased from 50 to 70. So refunds the mana cost entirely. Okay, so this is a good buff because this is, I think, the least popular talent on the tier. Level 10, Avalanche. Cooldown increased from 70 to 90 seconds. Mana cost increased from 70 to 80. Okay, they've now nerfed Avalanche twice. It started off as a 50-second cooldown, and now it's up to 90. Avalanche, so it was originally a 65, now it's a 90. That's a really big change from where it started. It's a good change. Avalanche definitely is very strong. Level 13, Flurry. Cooldown refresh rate increased from 75 to 100%. Okay, I think overall this is pretty good for Mei changes. Flurry, I believe, is one of Mei's least popular talents on the tier, but I don't think Mei needed the buffs. Popularity-wise, yeah. I mean, Flurry was the least popular talent. I'm glad they're changing her least popular talents. There isn't enough nerfs here. I feel like they could nerf Mei a lot more. Muradin, Stormbolt. Quest completion also caused Muradin basic attacks to grant him 3 mana. Oh, so he's like an Uther. This is a really good change to Muradin. Again, I think that he needs something else, though. I never really ran into that many issues with mana with Muradin. I guess sometimes if you're like spamming your cooldowns 100% of the time, it does matter. And Muradin does get a lot of auto attacks in, so this isn't bad. I think it's actually a really good change. I still would like to see Muradin's E come back, where it used to give him unstoppable. I think that'd be really nice. Chen, Breath of Fire. Damage over time damage increased from 55 to 57. Level 1, Freshest Ingredients trait. Regeneration Globe duration increased from 100 to 150%. This was a very underpicked talent, even in Brawls. It's a very good change. I don't play enough Chen to really give that good of an opinion of it. Level 16, Celerity. Cooldown reduction increased from 1.5 to 2 seconds. This was if you hit someone with your Q? I don't know. I actually have no idea what the sound is. Chat is going crazy right now. Was it over the Muradin changes? You guys are saying that the Muradin changes are crazy? Or is it the Chen? Because I'm going to say it's the Muradin. No, it can't be the Muradin. It's not that crazy. Freshest Ingredients seems broken. I don't think it's that crazy. So to read off the talent entirely, increase the healing duration of regen glows by 150%. So instead of them lasting for what, 4 seconds, they last for 10? It's not that crazy. Like in comparison to Imperius's level 4 press forward, it's not that crazy. 150% of a globe isn't that insane. It changes the healing from what, 12% to like 21%? I don't think it's that crazy, to be honest. I think that this is a good change, but I don't think it's that crazy. Deathwing, Molten Blood. Healing increased from 0.5 to 0.6% of his health. Okay, this is a very tiny change. Like I said, it's probably going to be very minor. Deckard, level 16, Safety and Numbers trait. Required the number of allied heroes to gain bonuses reduced from 3 to 2. Armor bonus reduced from 15 to 10. So previously, you would need to be in a 4 stack to get Safety and Numbers ability, which is why no one took it. Now you just need to be around 3 heroes, which is pretty easy to do if you have a very melee-based team. But the armor reduction has been reduced as well. Deckard, if he took this out, would have a very, very spammable Q. I don't think Deckard needed a buff, though. That's pretty, like, crazy. I feel like they definitely need to change Ruby and, like, nerf the healing of a bit, especially because of how popular it is. Tyrande, healing increased from 255 to 270. Level 13, a Harsh Moonlight now applies a slow and damage reduction to all targets hit, as well as visually shrinking them. This is a really nice change, though. The visually shrinking them part is really nice for teammates to like actually see who's hit and affected by it, so they're not too scared of people. This is really good for lower ranks already. Damage reduction reduced from 40% to 35%. Slow amount reduced from 40% to 35%. Okay, this is a good change. Harsh Moonlight was already the most popular talent 13, I believe, so I don't think it needed necessarily the buff, but it was also a nerf, but I don't think it was that crazy of a nerf. I think overall, Tyrande needs more buffs, so I'm not against it, but it's not the way I would have personally buffed her or would have suggested it. Ranger's Marks trait. Cooldown reduction of a Lunar Flare increased from 1.5 to 3 seconds. Okay, debuild is getting more and more love. Debuild Tyrande can still work as like a damage carry, but it's not the usual standard way of playing her. Level 16, Empower, now deals bonus damage to all targets hit. That was percent damage, I think? Yeah, 7% of their max health. So now it's all heroes hit get 7%. So they're going backwards a bit with how Owl build used to be compared to where it is now, which I like. I liked old Owl build compared to now. Uther, health reduced from 2,000 to 1,975. Okay, so like a pretty minor change. What is that? That's like 2.5%, right? Something like that, 3%. Health reduction reduced from 4.17 to 4.11. Holy Radiance, W. Cooldown reduced from 12 to 10 seconds. Mana cost reduced from 70 to 55. Healing amount increased from 177 to 194. So his W was just straight buffed. That's pretty good. Did he need this? Where Uther is in the current meta, it's nice that he has more healing, but Uther's a very oppressive healer to play against if he gets too strong, and that kind of worries. Level 1, Wave of Light. Cooldown reduction reduced from 1 to 0.75 seconds. This is a buff? No, it's a nerf. Cooldown reduction reduced from 1 to, yeah, so this is a nerf though. Level 16, Beacon of Light, adjusted functionality. Uther receives 100% bonus self-healing when healing others with holy light. This bonus is increased by 200% while he's below 50% health. Interesting, so it doubles his self-healing, so instead it's 16. Specifically when you go Q-build, I guess, you don't want to focus on doing damage all the time. You can actually choose to heal other people. It's a very big buff, especially the Q-build, which I didn't think needed it either. Deliverance, W. Increase the damage and healing of Holy Radiance by 10%, which is his W. Basic attacks against enemy heroes cause Uther's next cast of Holy Radiance to have its damage and healing increased by additional 10%, stacking up to 4 times. So it's gonna be up to 40% more healing. His level 16s were really changed. I don't know if this makes a character crazy or not. It'll be something I definitely have to test in my Bronze Master Climb. I think it's really good. I think it's insanely good with Q-build, especially because of Beacon of Light. And finally, into everyone's favorite character, Illidan. Rapid Chase, additional functionality. Reduce the cooldown of die by 1 second when it deals damage to an enemy hero. With this talent, I think it offsets the damage enough so you can actually use it during fights to get more DPS instead of how it was before. Okay, well, let's see what Rapid Chase is then. Rapid Chase. Dive grants 20% movement speed for 3 seconds. Oh, this is like the one that no one ever picked. Interesting. Yeah, this is not... I feel like this doesn't matter. So, if you don't play Illidan, when you're fighting with Illidan, you do more damage with your auto attacks because it reduces your W cooldown than just using your Q. Now, with the reduction of 1 second when it deals damage, the damage offset is a bit better for Illidan, but you're giving up friend or foe at level 4, which is really, really big. This is a good change. It's going in the right direction, but it's not useful. No one's ever going to take this talent still because it's baiting people into using their Q, which makes them more predictable in higher ranked games. Even in lower ranked games, it's make them lose damage usually. Bad talent in general still. Healer's Onslaught. Healing increased from 25 to 35% of damage dealt. Basic abilities heal for 35% of the damage they deal. This bonus is double versus hero. Ah, so instead of 50%, it's now 70%. That's a really good change. This is what I was talking about though before. Like, I feel like if they buff Illidan's healing, he becomes like really hard to deal with and almost oppressive. Fiery Brand. Attacks required to deal bonus damage reduced from 4 to 3. Damage reduced from 9% to 7% maximum health. Oh, this is like the constant auto attack. This is like his giant killer. So every third auto attack now against the same hero deals an additional 9% of their maximum health as damage. I think this actually competes with Blades of Azzinoth now. That's a really big buff. Huh. That's a really big buff. Qhira, level 7, the Thirst, adjusted functionality. Carnage shields for 50% of the damage dealt to enemy heroes. Anytime Carnage deals damage to enemy heroes, Qhira's next basic attack within 4 seconds against an enemy hero deals 15% additional damage, stacking up to 10 times. So it can do 150 extra damage, okay? Siphoning Link, additional functionality. Qhira heals for 20% of her damage dealt by basic attack. That's a passive, just in general, Qhira heals for 20% of her basic attack. So with what they're doing here, they're trying to buff the Q build and the E build. W build is the standard build, and I'm glad they're trying to finally buff E build as well as her auto attack builds. Level 16. So swooping kick or boom kick is whatever the talent's called. Level 16 is like so dominant is insane. So I'm glad they're finally changing some of the 16s here. Lingering Element. Additional functionality. Enemy heroes hit by grappling hook have their armor reduced by 15 for 3 seconds. Swing life away. Cooldown recharge rate increased from 200 to 250%. Zeratul changes. Level 20. Zeratul had some weird level 20 buffs before. I'm glad they're taking another look at them, trying to change them a bit. Adjusted functionality. Remove the mana cost of Singularity Spike. Basic attacks against non-heroic targets. Reduce the cooldown of Singularity Spike by 1.25 seconds and by 2.5 seconds against enemy heroes. This is a really good change. This alone, and by 2.5 seconds against enemy heroes, is an insane change. Before, it used to just be only against heroic target. This is finally the change that people have definitely mentioned before, whether that's on Reddit or my stream over on twitch.tv/SmokyDraco. Humble link. Shadow Stride. Additional functionality. Casting Vorpal Blade grants Zeratul a shield that absorbs 260 damage over 3 seconds. Shadow Stride reduces the cooldown of Vorpal Blade by 10 seconds and gives him a shield for 260 damage. That's like one auto attack. Yeah, because you can have 2 W's and it's essentially a third one because of how the timing works out. So this is a really good change. Although I don't think I think like even with auto attack build, I think this is still better. Unwavering Pressure just seems better. This is a very interesting change. That's actually gonna change Zeratul's build entirely. I don't think Q build is even the way to go anymore. I think that auto attack build and W build, like one-shot build, is the way to go. Ranged Assassins, Cassia. Finally, oh my god, they're not fixing Surge of Light. Surge of Light, damage reduced by 285 to 250. So the issue with Surge of Light is that it's not the damage numbers that are crazy about it. It's the fact that it has no cooldown attached to it. So if you hold down your trait button, so your D button, during a fight, it's not realistic, but let's say you take 5,000 damage. That procs 3 times instantaneously. It's insane because it doesn't have a cooldown. Level 16, Power Strike. Additional functionalities. Heroes hit by Lightning Fury reduces cooldown by 1 second. This is a good talent in low rank games. If your Q can hit enough people, you could just constantly spam it essentially. Chromie, oh my god, she has so many different changes. Deep Breathing, new functionality, quest. Every time Dragon Breath hits an enemy hero, increases damage by 1.5% up to 30%. Reward, after hitting 20 heroes, reduce the cooldown of Dragon's Breath by 5 seconds, and its mana cost from 65 to 30. I don't play Chromie enough, I can't give any opinions on it. Time Walker's Pursuit, active. New functionality, gain 50% spell power and reduce the arming time of time traps by 0.75 seconds. Activate to reveal the target area for 2 seconds. Enemies seen are revealed for 4 seconds and has a 25-second cooldown. Level 5, Mobius Loop, new functionality. Dragon's Breath deals 50% bonus damage to enemies hit by its center. Enemy heroes hit by its center are slowed by 60% for 1 second. W build is really oppressive in brawls, and I can't wait to try it out. That being said, if they get hit by the center by 50% and they're slowed by 60%, I don't think they can make it to the next center in time to get hit. This seems like a bad talent because at best you get 50%, but you're not hitting them with all 3 W's. This is a bad talent, I think. Slowing Sand. Slow amount to increase from 7% to 10% per every 0.25 seconds. Did Slowing Sand really need a buff? So essentially it gets up to its cap a lot faster. So we go to Chromie here. Up to 70%. So instead of it taking like 14 seconds or whatever, it just takes 10 seconds. It's a really big buff actually. I don't think it was needed. Level 11, here and there, teleport range increase from 11 to 20. That's almost double. It's a good change actually, because I think here and there is the most underrated one. Level 18, Unraveling. So this is the Slowing Sands alt. Spell armor reduction increased from 5 to 7. Spell armor maximum stacks reduced from 6 to 5. So at the top end, it does more. It has like a slower curve essentially. So once it gets to the halfway point, it's better, but before that point, it's worse. Additional functionality, Slowing Sands persists 5 seconds after it's canceled. What's the cooldown on Slowing Sands? Slowing Sands cooldown is 5 seconds, so this allows it to have 100% uptime essentially. Level 16, retry. Junkrat, basic attack damage increased from 110 to 120. Level 1, extra wound timers. Bonus damage from final grenade increased from 60 to 80%. Level 13, bombs away. Bonus damage increased from 25 to 30%. Level 20, I hate waiting. Mount cooldown reduced from 12 to 8 seconds. Okay, they're all fine. Whatever, it's Junkrat. None of this is that crazy. Still a terrible level 1 talent. Zuljin, level 20, new talent. A surprise for you. Basic attacks bounce to a nearby enemy for 50% damage prioritizing heroes. What the hell? Is he a Mutalisk from Starcraft? Zul'jin actually might be one of the strongest late game characters in the game now. Alright, and bug fixes. Maiev fixed an issue where Pursuit of Vengeance could gain cooldown reduction when hitting non-hero targets. They finally fixed this. I'm glad. That's it. They didn't fix the Maybugs or anything like that. If you guys enjoyed watching this video and you want to come watch me live, I stream every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Make sure you come stop by. If you did enjoy the content, subscribe to my YouTube. I post there every week. Totally. Don't look into that, okay? But I totally post every week. Everyone, have a good day. Bye.